I don't see anything wrong up there at all.
You don't?
No. There's a couple, the little plates that join the truss members together, there's a few that have kind of separated or popped, like the inspector saw, but I don't think that's due to twisting or anything. I mean, the trusses are braced, and I don't see the patio connections are fine.
Okay.
And it's not causing any of that.
Okay.
So I mean, you could get someone up there to hammer those back in. They're just little like prongs on the plate, and they can just easily be put back, but it's not a big deal.
Okay.
I don't see any need for any major structural modifications at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And over there, I know he
That-
said that the trusses were funky.
Well,
He
it was.
didn't see
When was this
most
house
fun.
built?
Well, this house was built in '66. That addition was put on, I want to say, around 1975.
The master wing was built then. Well, I would think. I mean, what I saw was, because the ceiling is vaulted in that space, they essentially built a field built truss, which was the carpenters, the framers. They just framed up the geometry of the roof and the ceiling, and they just bolted it together. So instead of having a prefabricated truss made and shipped out here, they just built them on site.
Okay, so it was.
But that's fine. I mean, what's there is fine. I mean, just because there's an actual through bolt with a nut and washer doesn't mean it's inadequate.
Okay.
It was just the way the framers did it. So there's a bolt, plus there's several nails. So as they constructed this framework, they just bolted right there just to be a little extra, is what I'm thinking.
Okay. So when he said, I think he was saying that it was sagging almost 4 inches.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that,
See
okay.
that. I think what should be determined, from underneath, I didn't bring a level up in there. From what I saw, I mean, I can draw it out, but the way they constructed that roof, they used a little 1x ridge board, that's at the ridge, and then they used these 2x6 rafters. And this is taller than this. This is only 5.5 inches. This thing is more like almost 8 inches, 7 to 8 inches tall. So I don't know if he's saying because of that difference, it sagged. But I mean, this is up flush to the underside of the roofing material.
Right.
So there's no problem with that. And then down here, there's like another piece, and then that's where you see that bolt. And then there's other members to create that vault in the ceiling. They did that, and and this is all nailed off to create that vault in the master bedroom. So that's the way they kind of just
So
built
it
these.
it didn't look conventional to John, is kind of what.
No, but and it's not a prefabricated truss like these are. It's something that they just built and slapped together in the field, and that's okay.
All right. So when he was saying twisting, you didn't see twisting?
The only thing I saw was, like I said, I saw a few of those little plates, and the where I saw them the most was, like I said, the truss looks like this. These are all 2x4s, okay, and then there's these call them diagonal webs is what they called, and it's these little plates. It's just a little metal plate that has, pried off slightly.
Okay, but how would they get pried off?
Well, I mean,
Is that what he maybe construed
yeah,
as twisting?
yeah, I think that's what he's
Looks like
thinking, that the trusses have twisted enough, or they've moved in the length of the truss. They've moved a little bit, so maybe this truss popped, or this member pushed on that a little bit to allow the plate to peel away or push off the wood a little bit. But I mean, everything is still under full bearing. Like I said, they could certainly go in there and tack these down. There's what it is right now. They're just little prongs that it's just compression. They just push it into the wood. So they could come in with nails and actually nail the thing in
Okay.
to the wood. But that's what it is, and you see it up here at the ridge. There's it's the same sort of thing. They have these tie plates, they call them, everywhere, and the shape of a truss is a triangle. So they have them, they have them in all these locations. They have them down here on the bottom cord, which is your ceiling, and then up here they have them in all these different locations. They have these tie plates, these little metal plates, and it's on each side, so one on each side. And in some places, they have pulled away a little bit.
Okay.
But I don't think it's anything to lose sleep over. I mean, as long as that top cord is supported, as long as it's still supported by this diagonal, you're fine.
So are they attached funky? I mean, from the original builder, I know he was talking about how those were kind of cantilevered in. Does that
that I did notice the way the patios did come in. So it's not this kind of thing. It is, they actually come in and they attach to the side of the member. These are 2x6s. The patios, both the front and the back patio, they're 2x6 members, and they come on and they essentially do this. They come into the side, and there's like 6-8 nails per one, and then back here where the wall, then there's another support back here. So it's essentially this comes out, and then here's your patio beam out here in your out of the patio. There's a beam, so it's supported almost in 3 locations: 1, 2 at the exterior wall of the house, and then up here at the truss.
Okay.
But that's pretty common. So that I'm not worried about any of that.
Okay.
At all. And I know this is chicken scratch, but. So I don't think there's any problem. And once again, if there is some, as they're re-roofing, there's that joint where the shed of the patio roof is a shallower pitch than the rest of the house. So as that comes in and tees into that, if it's spongy there, or if it's weak, they can block in between trusses, and they can reinforce that.
Okay.
But really, once all of the shingles are off, you can really get a feel for the condition of the roof structure. And like I said, usually roofers, they go around after it's been stripped down to the deck, they call it, down to the plywood or whatever the roofing sheeting is. They'll walk around. If there's sponginess or anything, they will try to reinforce that anyway. So a lot of that will be accomplished with the re-roofing procedure.
Okay.
And I did not notice over there in the master, I did not notice this really apparent diving of the ridge or anything like that. I mean, everything looked pretty tight to me.
Okay. Well,
so that's why I said the shingling themselves might be creating the illusion that it's really. So I think once the shingles are removed, I think it'll become a lot more apparent if there is an issue over there.
Right.
And once again, see, I'm only doing a visual, so I can't see, but I recommend that once they're re-roofing, have a look at it then too, and see how that roof ridge looks over there, that master.
Right.
After all the shingles are gone, I bet it'll be a lot more apparent if it is level or if it is diving, then maybe we can address it even more then.
Right.
But nothing.
And if it is diving like that, is that an expensive fix? I mean,
I think it's a matter of, like I said, that roof over there is not a prefabricated truss. It's this kind of stick-built thing where there's a ridge board. Like I said, this is a little it's a 1x8. And then these are 2x6s. These there's not a hanger here. Nowadays, if they did this, they would put a saddle or something on the rafter to attach, but they didn't do that back then. They just kind of toe-nailed it together. And then all of this material down here is kind of holding it all in check. But everywhere I looked, that ridge board was tight to the peak. So I didn't see it disconnected or deflected downward in any area over there. So
okay, and the condition of that front porch.
Same thing. It's that the same. The front and the back are the same construction. There's what's helping the front is it has a bottom. It has a ceiling.
Right.
The back doesn't have a ceiling. It's just sloping.
Right.
So, but the junction. That junction of this low pitch to this upper pitch. If that junction is. Once they strip all the finish away, if that looks suspect, you know, they should probably flash that, make sure that that is well sealed so moisture doesn't
So
get
it doesn't
down in
become
there.
like a valley.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So that's an area that should be, but roofers should know that anyway. So a lot of this, I think, will be taken care of with the roofing procedure. But otherwise, all of the other stuff that I saw in there did not look.
All right, so you think the inspector was,
I don't agree with, you know, he's saying ridge board over the master bridge sagging. Well, that's because it's, you know, I don't know if he put a level up there, but this photograph here, it's like I said, it's the ridge board hangs down from the rafter.
okay.
So I don't agree with that.
That's why you're here, is to debunk
These
the
boards have
general
created a
inspector.
fulcrum point causing lift. I disagree with this too. You know, there's a support back here that these are the rafters of the porch or the patio. These things right here, and see it's sistered to the truss. So the pink is the truss, the blue is the porch. But it's, you know, it's sistered here, but it's also supported back here on this little cripple wall where he's got circled. There's a little piece of wall both at the front and the back that also support those rafters.
Okay.
So I'm not seeing that.
Okay, and then the gusset plates are pulling out, so you already explained
Yeah, the
that.
gusset plates pulling out from the twist. You know, I'm seeing that a little bit, and I have other pictures of that I can show you. Rafter damage. I didn't. There was just one of these rafters where they were nailed. It had split, and it's because they probably drove the nails in too close to the edges of the rafter, and it just split the wood.
Is that a big deal if it's split?
I mean, they could block in between and reinforce it, but I don't think that's, unless there is a big issue with the roof material, and if there's water coming in there, then I would reinforce it. But right now,
You didn't
it's not
see
an
any
issue.
water. You
No.
didn't see any signs of water.
I didn't see any of that, nope.
Okay,
These are the homeowners.
I think so.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.